Hello, my name is Matt. I'm one of the trainers for CirclePOS. In this video, we'll walk through the basic functions a staff member needs to know for everyday operation. For reference, this video will be timestamped below. So to start the day, the staff are going to need to log into both POS and back office. So we'll open up our POS and enter in the password. Most likely the username and site information will already be stored. Once we successfully enter in our password and hit OK, POS will open and it's now ready for transactions. So the back office is where we do all of our inventory management. There are two websites for each store, one with their public facing domain with the store's name in it, and another additional website which will have a CircleSoft or CirclePOS domain. They're both identical websites and we can log in using our credentials on either one. Stores often have a preference over which one they like to use at the counter though. So to log into our back office, we go up to the top right hand side of the screen, click on login. Now it's very common for stores to have these credentials saved in, but you may need to put in a password. We've now successfully logged in and all we need to do is open up the back office. We do this by going back up to the right hand side of the screen and choosing back office from the drop down menu. So using POS is quite straightforward. Products are scanned and the total will appear on the right hand side of the screen. Next, we need to select the payment type that the customer wishes to use. We do that by choosing the drop-down menu here underneath payment type. For cash, we simply enter in the amount of money that the customer has given us and hit enter. We can see that amount is here on the right-hand side of the screen, and POS will also work out the change for us. At this point, you can simply press spacebar to finalize the transaction or use the post button down here. This will prompt the receipt printer to spit out a receipt and it will also prompt the cash drawer to open. So for FPOS payments, we scan the items the same as we did last time and we select FPOS or card from the payment type. It will automatically fill in the amount, so we can just confirm that. Now, if you're using an integrated FPOS machine, when you press spacebar or the post button, it will automatically send that amount to the terminal, which will prompt the customer to tap or swipe their card. Once the transaction is successful, the receipt will print and the cash drawer will open. If the FPOS terminal is not integrated, this is where you would manually enter that amount into the terminal. Once the transaction is successful, you can simply press the spacebar or the post button in POS, and that will generate a receipt and kick open the cash drawer for you. So if the customer wishes to pay with both cash and card, it's important to enter in the cash amount first. POS will calculate the remaining card payment for you, and this information will either be sent to an integrated FPOS terminal or keyed in manually by the staff member. Refunds and exchanges are all processed through POS. Process and exchange start by scanning in the product that's being returned. Now we can adjust the quantity to a negative amount. Now we can just scan the products that the customer wishes to exchange for. At this point, it's just a normal transaction. We simply select our payment method and finalize the transaction. Refunds are similar to exchanges. We scan the returned product, then we adjust the quantity to a negative amount. And at this point, we select the payment method in which we're going to process the refund. For cash refunds, select cash as the payment type and enter in the amount negative. At this point, you can simply press the spacebar or hit the post button to finalize the transaction. The cash drawer will open and a new receipt will be printed. For integrated FPOS, enter in the negative amount and press spacebar or the post button. The negative amount will then be sent to your EFTPOS terminal for the customer to complete the transaction. If your EFTPOS terminal isn't integrated with POS, enter in the negative amount in the same fashion, but then you will need to manually enter that negative amount into your terminal. Depending on the terminal, we may need to enter in a PIN or a code to process this. Be sure to follow all of your store's policies on exchanges and refunds. Gift cards are sold through POS like any other product. Stores may use pre-printed card stock or barcoded gift cards. To sell a handwritten gift card, press Generate New Card in POS, enter in the quantity of cards that the customer wishes to buy, and enter in the amounts. Once entered, two numbers will appear. One is the gift card number. It will have 3 letters and 8 digits. There will also be a 4-digit PIN number as well. Both numbers have to be written down on the card, along with any other relevant information. If your store is using barcoded gift cards, you can simply scan them directly into this field here and enter in the value. We can now scan any additional items that the customer would like to purchase and finalize the transaction. It's worth pointing out that you cannot apply discounts to gift cards. So to redeem the gift card, all you need to do is scan items into POS like you normally would, and then choose gift card as the payment method. Then it will require you to enter in the gift card number, which will either be handwritten on the gift card, or if it is a barcoded one, you do have the ability to scan the barcode directly into this field. Some stores may require you to also enter in the 4-digit PIN. So after pressing enter, the gift card balance will display in POS. If the total exceeds the amount of the transaction, you'll be prompted to enter in another payment method to finalize that, either card or cash. You can also use additional gift cards if the customer does have them. So it will display information on the screen letting you know that the amount of the transaction does exceed the gift card amount. At this point, we simply choose another payment method. I'm going to choose card. POS will automatically work out the remaining balance for you. And at this point, it will either send that to your integrated EFTPOS terminal, or you will manually key that into the terminal. Now, in this example, the gift card balance is actually more than what the transaction is. So I'll acknowledge that by hitting OK. It will put the gift card amount up here in the tendered window, but it will also display the remaining balance of the gift card here. Now we can finalize the transaction at this point, but be sure to know the store's policy on how that remaining balance is handled. Some stores provide a brand new gift card with that remaining amount on it. Other stores may simply handwrite on the existing card the remaining balance, but it's important to know what the store's policy is on that. Account sales are for customers who will be invoiced for goods. We'll start in POS by first looking the customer up by pressing Ctrl-N or pressing the customer button on the top left-hand side of the screen. We can search by name or by phone number. Once we've selected the customer, it's important to switch over to account sale. We do that at the top of the screen by changing from cash to account sale. Scan the items in and apply any relevant discount. Enter any customer notes or reference down the bottom as needed. Now, since the sale is invoiced, we don't need to enter any payment details. We simply press the post button or spacebar on our keyboard to finalize the transaction. If you do need to print an invoice to go with the goods, you can easily get to it by using the last invoice button or Ctrl-P in POS. That will open up a printable version of the invoice for you. And be sure to follow the store's policy on all account sales. Layby sales are similar to account sales. We start in POS by first looking the customer up and selecting them from the search menu. So after searching for the customer and selecting them, we simply switch from cash sale to Layby. We scan our items as normal. We select the payment method that the customer wishes to use for a deposit and enter in the amount. We press spacebar or the post button to finalize the transaction. This will print a lay-by receipt which will have all the information on that you can hand over to the customer. So to process further payments on this lay-by, we once again start in POS and we look up the customer. And this time we click on the special orders button. Within here, there is an option to switch to laybys again, and that will display any active laybys that this customer has. We select the one that the customer wishes to make a payment on. Once again, choose the payment method that the customer wants to use. Enter in the amount and hit enter. And press the spacebar or the post button to finalize the transaction. This process will continue until the entire balance of the lay-by has been paid. When a customer comes in to collect their special order, we start by looking their name up in POS, either using Control N or pressing the customer button at the top left-hand side of the screen. We can search by name or phone number. Now that the customer is loaded into POS, we can click on the Special Orders button just under the Customer button. We select the relevant order. If the customer has multiple orders, you can see that order number on the printed slip that will be with their order. We select it and press OK. The entire order will be loaded into POS. There's no need to scan any items at this point. Also, if there was a deposit made, that will be loaded into the tendered amount window here as well. Enter in any outstanding amounts like we would for any other transaction. And press the spacebar or the post button to finalize the sale. All of our inventory management is done within the back office. Use the search bar at the top of the screen to search for products, either by title, author, or ISBN. We can also combine title and author to narrow down our results. Click on the product to view more details. We can see things like our on hand, our stock levels. We can see our category where the product is in the store. We can also see our pricing, and if we hover over the info icon on the left hand side, this will display things like the image and the specifications of the book, which is really helpful if you're looking for it in the store. So if a book isn't in our store's database, we can add the book using the load stock feature. We enter the ISBN or multiple ISBNs into barcode search and press the search button. This will pull in all of the publicly available data, including the regular price. We can set the category for the book at this point as well, but it's not required. We simply press add an order to add this book to our database. It's worth pointing out that this does not actually place this book on order. It simply adds the product information to our database. If a customer requests a book that we don't have, we may be able to order it for them. We can do this by creating a customer order. Be sure to confirm the store's policies regarding deposits and wait times for orders. Once the book's price and availability has been confirmed, we can use the ISBN and the load stock feature to add that product information to our store's database. Once the book's been successfully loaded into our database, we can use the drop down on the left hand side and choose Special Order. We can now search for the customer, either using their name, phone number, or email address. We can select them from the list here. If the customer is not already in our database, we can quickly add them in by filling in these fields down the bottom. Once both the book and the customer are loaded into this screen, we can add any order reference, order notes, anything that's relevant there. And if we are taking a deposit, we can enter in that amount here and choose the payment type from this drop-down menu. All EFTPOS payments will need to be manually entered on the terminal. Once the payment is successful, we can simply press go. If required, we can print a receipt from here. This book will now be added as a customer order for the store's buyer or manager to review. Additional information about CirclePOS can be found directly in the back office help tab.